Hey, what's going on, family? This is Brandon. Today, we're going to make some delicious oxtails. Now, I'm going to prepare mine in the oven and smother them in gravy with a little onions and peppers. A lot of people are intimidated about making oxtails because, one, they're super expensive and you don't want to mess them up, but they're just like cooking any other tough cut of meat for real. That you just, make sure that you take your time with them and cook them low and slow or enough time in order to get them tender. You don't want to take them off too early or whatnot, thinking that you're going to overcook them. It's kind of hard to overcook an oxtail. So I'm gonna show you how an easy recipe that we do here. There's so many different variations, but this one, anybody should be able to do. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, guys, so I just have a few oxtails in my bowl here. I have about 2.5 pounds of them. And this is your oxtail. Some people like to trim almost all the fat off. I have trimmed some of the fat, but we like to leave some of it on as well because, one, that's flavor, and once you get it all rendered down and cooked, you really won't even really recognize that it's there. So again, here are our oxtails. Oxtails are from a cow's the tail of a cow. Some people actually think they are from the ox, but they're not. They are from the cow. My wife, she was one who happened to believe that they were from an ox. Why they call them oxtails is from a cow, I don't know, but that's actually where it's from. And you can see this little piece here would be the end part of the tail. So the bigger, the wider they are, the higher up on the tail it goes. To season them, we're going to keep it really simple. Just going to put a little bit of olive oil in. Then we're going to season them with some garlic salt, black pepper, and a little adobo seasoning. After that, we are going to brown them off in a Dutch oven. I'm not going to bread them or batter them in flour. Now you can if you want a little bit more of a thicker gravy. I'm going for a little bit more of a lighter gravy. We're going to put it over some rice or maybe mashed potatoes, but I kind of want a little bit of a lighter gravy this time instead of that 40 weight. Uh-oh. All right. And then season them, fairly liberal. These are going to be cooking for quite some time, and you want to ensure that your oxtails are good and flavorful and also help flavor up that gravy. So we got our our black pepper and a little adobo. This is adobo seasoning with pepper by Lowry's. And we're just going to give these a toss. Make sure every one of our oxtails is coated well. And it's going to let them sit. I'm going to get my Dutch oven warmed up. Then we'll start browning them off. I am going to brown off my oxtails in bacon grease and a little bit of oil. And then here's our peppers and onions. I have a small red onion that I'm using today. And these are just some sweet peppers that we cut up. And these are going to go into the pot as well. So let me go ahead and get the Dutch oven. All right, guys, so you can see we've got these oxtails pretty much browned up. Again, went in with a little bit of avocado oil and a little bit of bacon grease to get some good flavor on these oxtails. And all we're doing is browning them up, and then we're going to pull them off and go in with our veggies. All right, y'all, so now we're going in with our veggies. Again, this was one small onion and just about a whole bag of mini sweet peppers that we cut up into pieces like this. So all I'm doing now, I just want to go ahead and put them back in that same pot with the same drippings on the bottom and just get a little bit of a flavor and begin to release those flavors from those peppers and the onions. The smell is amazing. And after we let them go for a minute or two, now it's time to go ahead and make our roux for our gravy. So I added in about a half a cup of flour to our pot here, and we're just going to begin to cook that flour down some and incorporate it really, really well. We're going to be adding some beef stock to this as well, about 4 cups initially to start off. But all I'm doing, like I said, is just cooking out that flour flavor, and it's allowing everything to come together really well and be incorporated really well. Just adding in the rest of that half a cup there, so we don't have any huge clumps or masses of flour in the mix here. So again, I'm just going to let it go for a little while. I'm not trying to make a super dark roux or anything. I'm basically just cooking out the flour flavor before we go ahead on and add in our stock. All right, so now about to add in our stock, and I'm just going to add just a little bit in initially. just to loosen up that flour and begin to, construct our gravy. That flour is going to start, this liquid rather, is going to start thickening up really, really quickly. And all we're doing is doing that in order to release the flour from the bottom of the pot, release those flavors and all those drippings from the bottom of the pot. And then we're going to go ahead on and add in some more. Now I may have to add in some more stock, but or liquid. And after you use this, you could actually just use some water to loosen up the gravy if need be. You can see how nice and rich that gravy is looking already.
I need more energy.
Smells really, really good up in here already. And again, this is a super simple way to do oxtails. So I'm going to add in some black pepper. I love a heavy peppered gravy. Now again, if you don't like pepper like we do, you don't have to use as much. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and add in our tails. The reason I'm doing it this way is because I don't want to have too much liquid in here. You can always add liquid, as you go. This gravy will reduce once we put it in the oven and cook down, because it's going to be braising for, some hours, and it will cook down some, but you don't want to overdo it with the amount of liquid that you start off with. So. And I'm just going to go ahead and layer in all of our oxtails. I'm going to make sure that I get every oxtail in the pot and flat and layered and not sitting on top of one another if I can. So once I get them all in like I've done, now all I want to do is begin to top off the liquid just barely over the top. So again, you see I used up all my stock. That was 4 cups. And then I just went in with about another cup of water just to make sure that I got my oxtails completely covered and submerged. You could take this time and give me a thumbs up and a like and a share, some comments. I'd really appreciate it. It'll help me out a lot. Also, if you haven't known by already, my other channel is live, Inspired by Fire. Go ahead and check that out as well. If you want to be inspired by the word of the Lord. So it's live and up and ready to go. All right, guys, so I'm going to do now is cover this bad boy and put it in a 375-degree oven. And after an hour and a half, this is what we got. You can see how that gravy has reduced. You can basically see the line there in the middle in the pot. So we're going to go ahead and add a little more water to this in order to bring that line back up. The oxtails are coming along really nicely, but they do have a ways to go before we get them tender the way we want. So all we're doing is checking on them, making sure that our gravy's good, which, like I said, we need to add a little bit more liquid. We're just going to stir up the bottom of the pot. Then we're going to cover this bad boy up and continue to let it go. I'm guessing maybe another hour to hour and a half before they're ready. All right, guys, here's the finished look. Look how silky that gravy is. The oxtails are tender, fall off the bone tender. You can see when the bone begins to fall out like that, you know your oxtails are good. Let's go ahead and fix us up a plate real quick. Let's see what we got going on. All right, so we've got our rice here. We have some green beans we're gonna have with them. And let's go ahead and lay down some of these oxtails. Ooh. Super tender, guys. This gravy though, that's what I'm here for, because I can just eat the rice and gravy by itself. Good amount of that gravy in there. Yes, sir. These, like I said, doing oxtails is not that hard. Just kind of depends on the style of oxtail that you want to make. Look at that plate. I know you guys want to see me get some, so let's go ahead and get a bite. Our plate. Let's go ahead and get a bite. Let me pray.
I need more energy.
All right. Again, We seasoned up our oxtails really well. Washed them, cleaned them first, seasoned them up. We went on and seared them off in bacon grease and a little bit of oil till we browned them off. We put them in our Dutch oven with some onions, sweet peppers, put them in the oven on 375 for the total cook time about 3 hours and 20 minutes. After about an hour and a half to hour and 45 minutes, we did open them up, check on them, make sure our levels of our gravy was right because we do have, it will reduce. Add a little bit more water to it, stirred it up, put it back in the oven for another hour and a half. Checked on it one more time, make sure we didn't reduce too much in our gravy. Another 20 minutes and boom, this is our finished product. The oxtails are super tender, ready to go. Gravy is fire. Let's go ahead and get some of this rice real quick.
I need more energy. There's always a choice.
Like I said, I can eat just a bowl of this rice and gravy by itself. That's fire. Let me get one of these oxtails. Hope I don't burn myself. But just look at this. Man, that's so good. Just falls apart. Look at that. Y'all forgive me. I'm gonna hurt myself with this, but y'all follow this recipe. It's really that simple. There's nothing to it. It's whether or not you want to spend the money and you have the time to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Till the next time, God bless. And don't forget, I did launch my other channel, Inspired by Fire. I have a link in the description for that as well if you want to just talk about the goodness of the Lord, and that's what that channel is dedicated to. So till the next time, God bless you all. We'll see you around.